Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. And so continues the War of Ages.
Last time on War of Ages. Roland and Sadhbh left much unsaid after attempting to talk things through. Catrinel and Alexios spoke together of faith, futures, and their origins. Sadhbh joined eventually, reeling from her conversation with Roland. Meanwhile, Roland went to Zorion. They debated combat and the beast, and Zorion shared details of his own dark past. On the following night, Catrinel awakens amidst her soil shortly after the sun has set. Around her she can hear the sounds of life and the distant voices of the Canaanites that she traveled to the city with. Catrinel, upon awakening, what do?
Habitually, she often, when she awakes, runs a finger through that soil. Just testing, getting the sense of how it feels. Obviously, when you sleep on it, it gets packed in and it doesn't quite feel the same. And getting that textural satisfaction of feeling exactly that it's hers, it brings her blood some strange comfort. But in this moment, it also reminds her of what's been on her mind. And she's not exactly willing to let it go now. It's been too long. So she'll get up, She'll brush the earth from herself, get ready in all the usual ways. She's off to find Sherazhina.
It doesn't take long to find Sherazhina, who is preparing to lounge for the remainder of her evening. You find her brushing her long hair, gazing into a mirror in a small space illuminated by candlelight. When she sees you, she subtly startles and sets the brush down. Lady?
Sherazhina. And as Catrinel enters the room, she takes up that hairbrush. And very, very naturally, she goes over and starts brushing Sherazhina's hair. From this moment, it's clear that Catrinel has brushed other people's hair. It's almost, well, it is familiar in that sense of family.
She tilts her head to the side, revealing her neck, a sign of submission. You've come to speak?
I have. And I think it's been far too long, don't you?
Perhaps we've had polite conversation up to this point. Have we
Yes. It's not for a lack of politeness. But I think, like I said before, there's a point of decision here, too.
You have my attention.
I want you to tell me what's going on with you, what's going on with Mitru.
Prince Mitru is an honorable man who approaches the world in an honorable way. He clings to his humanity and would stretch himself thin to the point of breaking to right every wrong he comes upon. And I simply refuse to be the thing that stretches him so thin he breaks.
And is that so likely? When the two of you look at each other like you're lovers.
She gives this incredulous look.
Catrinel smiles at her through the mirror, showing those sharp teeth, but kind of letting her gaze drift down to her own hands in Sherazhina's hair, fluffing it out a little bit.
Mitru believes his vampirism is some sort of curse. Some plight that he would infect me with and destroy me with were he to make that choice.
To embrace you,
Yes.
one way or the other.
So when I asked him to do so, as a means of escaping the politics of the Tzimisce, he denied me, thinking that his immortality and canine strength was some curse that I could not possibly understand.
And you didn't point out to him that you've lived your whole life as Revenant, or he did not understand?
If he saw me as so frail and human, then how could he understand me? Men like him see the world as something to be preserved and shielded through valor and strength. I am a thing to protect.
Do you like that about him? Or is it too much?
I think it is an illusion and idiocy. But there is something warming about seeing someone who not only believes in it, but can make it a reality. There are many, many people who claim to be knights. But to actually see it is different.
Yes. Many people portray their false ideals, and so few suffer for them. Do you truly want to be canine?
Of course. My brother is a looming shadow. I believe I can only truly escape it in death.
Yes, there is no true escape for us Basarab women so long as we're able to be women. There's something deeply appealing about being a corpse.
Yes.
But you wish to escape the politics of the Tzimisce.
Don't you?
I am deeply grateful for my own embrace. Sure, it is not so far from our family, and perhaps had things gone another way, I might have had even more freedom. But you have to take the freedom that you can get and fight for more. The machinations of our family, that was something I was specifically escaping to at the time of my embrace. So I believe I have a certain sympathy exactly for your position, even if I don't know all the details. Something that I'd like to know before I do something rash.
What do you intend to do?
I suppose it depends exactly on what you want. I could embrace you, but it would seem that you don't necessarily want our blood.
What I want ultimately is to escape the will of my brother. To not be his.
Catrinel tilts her head in the mirror at that emphasis, watching the way Sherazhina's face contorts saying it. If you wanted to give Mitru another chance to show his honor, you and we could go demand that you be embraced by him. Perhaps we could be a bit nicer about it, as it is his princedom, but I don't believe that he would take you from me if I were to take you somewhere else and embrace you there, or if one of my companions were to be amenable to it. Presenting him with the inevitability of your embrace, I wonder if that would change his opinion.
Perhaps. It does force the decision onto him. Would that be right?
The way that I see it, you asked him to embrace you, and he refused you? Perhaps there's miscommunication, and perhaps you could have said more, and so on and so forth, but I don't think he understands the cruelty of rejecting that request. I don't think that he understands that you were never born human. That this thing that he seeks to preserve in you does not exist in the way that he would seek to preserve it. That you, if you do not find embrace, will be trapped as revenant for far too long. That most revenants, remain tools of the Canaanites around them. And that if he were to have love for you, that he should consider giving you power before someone else does.
I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? An opportunity for him to intervene should he so choose, before the inevitable outcome. To step out of his illusion.
Yes.
I'm interested.
Then come with me. Let's do it now.
She gets up and kind of examines herself in the mirror for a moment, and then gives you a nod, ready to follow.
Catrinel puts one final touch in Sherazhina's hair, looping a bit of her own jewelry in to one of the braids. She smooths it out and stands with her to walk to Mitru, wherever he is.
As the early evening unravels, Catrinel and Sherazhina begin making their way to where the others are gathered, at the tavern at the heart of the town, overlooked by the ruins of the chapel. Mikavikos and Michu share a spirited discussion as the other members of the newly formed Coterie begin to file in and join the local Canaanites for the evening. Mikavikos regards Zorion curiously before speaking up. Zorion, you strike me as a man of history. The tales of the Crusades and some of the darker moments of it speak of you. I find that intriguing.
Do they now?
Yes.
And what do these histories say?
They speak of a dark side of duty.
Yes. I was hoping to leave that behind, but now that I have found myself traveling back east, the closer I get to Acre, the black lion rears its ugly head.
It cracks a half smile. The experiences of one such black lion and the deeds it is known for are a boon amidst the politics of these nights. The Ventru, the Eastern Lords, much of their politics are built behind a mask of chivalry. A Canaanite such as you sees through that mask and knows the world for what it really is. I value that perspective. I believe the Prince of Beastries will as well.
As did my sire. I believe that is why he chose me to succeed him.
Your sire? The Magisters are known for plans within plans.
Corvus is the most brilliant Canaanite I have ever met.
Canaanites of old Rome.
He has an eye for strategy and the long plan, unlike I have ever seen or interacted with. I have often questioned whether my time in the Holy Land was ever born of any of my own desires, when it was all laid before me by my sire.
That is a curse we all bear as Canaanites, isn't it? That every choice is an illusion and instead part of some greater machination. At least, for now.
I worry about that in my dark moments, but I believe the truth is that a hand such as Corvus can guide things already in motion to a location he desires. So while the choices were my own, his subtle guidance made those choices into the individual you see before you. I aspire to have a fraction of his ability.
And you have been sent to the right courts to hone such skill.
Saeed has been not close enough to truly engage in the conversation, but she's been listening, sitting near a window with her Bowron, just sort of lightly tapping a rhythm. Not so loud that she can't hear what they're saying, but this feels like more high-level politics than she can knowingly comment on. And instead she challenges herself to keep the rhythm of the conversation with her hands. And she stays close enough to the fire that her hands don't become stiff from the cold, and far enough away that she doesn't have to think dark thoughts.
Mika, since we are to be traveling together to Beastries soon, and thank you for some of the maps you have provided. It is illuminating to see that we are very close to our destination. Perhaps we shall play a game to establish a bit more trust between our caravans.
You have my curiosity.
Perhaps a game of secrets.
Tell me of this game of secrets. He cracks a smile.
I will share a secret. and you will share a secret. And whoever offers the least impressive secret will owe the other a boon. Something trivial, but a boon nonetheless.
I am intrigued.
Now, I do believe the Knight who goes first has a severe disadvantage. But since I am proposing the game, I will allow you to decide who will offer the first secret.
I'll seed the pot, so neither of you have to go first.
Zorion twitches at his little game being interrupted and annoyed flashes eyes towards Saif. And then kind of like shuts his kind of gaping mouth at the fact that he was interrupted and swallows a bit and nods and kind of trying to act gracious about it.
Or I can stay here and just play lovely music and be lovely to look at.
Very well. So we have 3 secrets that are in the pot. Do you agree to this, Mika?
I consent to the involvement of your friend.
Saif. That's my name.
I hope that isn't your contribution.
It's not really that good a secret, is it?
No. What is your secret?
I carried a doll with me most of my days, and I still miss her. Now, to call her a doll was a bit of a charitable description. She was a wooden spoon with a twig twined around her to make her look like she had arms. And I called her Primrose.
Primrose.
After my favorite flower. So 2 secrets for the price of 1.
Mika, would you like to offer your secret next? Or would you like to hear mine first?
In this little game, I believe I would like to go next. And see, by the look on your face, whether or not you find yourself having to reconsider which secret you share in order to win. My secret pertains to the history just beyond these lands. The history that most Canaanites have no idea about, but are deeply influenced by. It is the tale of the Baba Yaga. Beyond these mountains lies a land cold and steeped in ice. A few go there, but those who do would speak of a spirit, a lady of the land, a being that was never human, but every bit as capable of making her presence known and expressing herself should she have deigned to do so. And this spirit of the forest was a peaceful, harmonious thing. Even the lupines did not mind her passage. It is until an ugly, hateful thing by the name of Absimiliard journeyed to her lands. You see, Absimiliard was a strange Canaanite, a thing obsessed with embracing not mere mortals, but tormenting immortals with the curse of Cain. And he found her, and he made her a vampire. And in doing so, you see, she was not the first of his children, but she was the one who was so angered by what he had done to her, so motivated toward revenge, that she embraced children, something forbidden in the eyes of Similiar, because anything that was embraced carried his accursed hideousness. And here, and in the surrounding regions, her children spread and began a resistance against his machinations. And they were called the Nosferatu. And the Nosferatu of this region, those who rebel against the rise of the Eastern ones, are in secret blessed by her magics and her knowledge. The Nosferatu are much, much more than they seem. For the Nosferatu wield the power of Baba Yaga. Your turn.
It is a fine secret, Migos, a secret of lore about the third generation and the Nosferatu. I was hoping for something perhaps a bit more personal about you, but I am still impressed with this knowledge you have gifted me.
I must be careful to play the game and not arm Zorion.
Well, I only deal with blades, and my secret is much closer to home. It is about the Cainites in this very town. You see, there is a secret my caravan harbors. There is another Cainite that travels with us. A Tremere.
Give me a perception plus empathy roll, difficulty 7.
Does sense motives come into play as a spec?
Sure.
A single success.
3 single successes.
Vigavagos's impersonal facade drops for the briefest moment, and the most subtle look of odium manifests in their expression. It's a slight twitch of the eye, a narrowing of their features, almost like hackles rising almost imperceptibly.
Zorion's lip kind of curls into a little wicked smile. Would you like to know the name of this Tremere? Who travels in my very caravan?
I would. What is the name of this hermetic companion of yours?
I would also like to know his name, but I have yet to learn it, for he rides with a stake in his heart and dirt covering his body in a little box where I have put things that come for me. That is my secret.
I would like to negotiate whether or not you win.
Of course.
Roland walks in, dressed for travel, and it looks like he's been dressed for riding, his sword still at his hip, and looks between the weird tension at the table. Negotiate who won what.
He would like to negotiate whether he owes me a small boon or a larger boon for the game of secrets.
You're playing the game of secrets? So who is the winner?
I am.
He is.
Bon, well done, Zorion.
Of course, once the secret is verified.
Perhaps we should verify it outside of Prince Mitru's lands. I do not wish to involve him in any ugliness.
I concur. Fortunately, we have the road ahead of us.
Lovely.
When do we leave?
As soon as Catrinel arrives, I believe her handmaidens are loading her things now, and wherever Alexios has gotten off to again.
Are we involving people in ugliness, then? Catrinel says as she arrives with Sherazhina close in tow.
No, our esteemed Prince Mitru has been extremely hospitable, and I do not wish him any ill will. I want to make sure that he regards this visit to his lands with nothing but esteem, so that the next time we visit, it is equally well received.
Then I should like to have a conversation. And she turns and dips her head to Mitru.
Mitru, the prince of this city, seated in a dark corner at a table, with the hood of his cloak up, but in the dark his eyes glint like a wolf, and you can tell that his attention has shifted towards you, Catrinel.
Catrinel crosses the room, and she brings Sherazhina with her. And she has Sherazhina sit first, placing the Revenant directly across from Mitru, choosing instead herself to sit corner to the conversation.
There is instantly this avalanche of unspoken something between them.
Catrinel lets that linger a moment, as if she's taking the second to, smooth out her own skirts, get comfortable, just adjust in the faux mortal ways that one does to be comfortable and fine. She's really letting that stretch, but she turns to Mitru afterwards, and she says, "There is a conversation I'd like to have with you before we leave this place."
He breaks away from the disquiet of the moment and looks towards you. "Of course, Catrinel. What would you like to talk about?"
"What do you know of my family, the Basarab?"
"The Basarab are a noble family of the Tzimisci."
"Yes. Would you mind if I told you a story of them?"
"Not at all."
"It's quite personal, so I don't much want it to distract from the point, but I believe you'll see where I'm going with it. A long time ago, when I was mortal, I had sisters. I was the firstborn of the marriage my father had to my revenant Basarab mother, and that caused some dynamics to be in play. Well, one of my sisters, Amis, she was sent off to learn with the Basarab, and I missed her. I missed her greatly. I mourned that I didn't get to know her in her younger years. She did come back eventually, at the death of another sister, and she brought Basarab with her. Now, before that, I wasn't as familiar with my mother's people, their ways. And it seemed such a dark time for so many reasons, but it started to grow so dark. Seeing people disappear more so and more so. Seeing my father's will get bent and broken into tiny little pieces. Also that the incursion could become more and more powerful. And it started to be the case that it seemed the only safe places to be were locked up in our rooms, avoiding these strange people, these Basarabs. Like us, but so unlike us. Until the excess began to seem a warning. The feasts that they threw, claiming to mourn my sister, and they grew more opulent. And the darkness and loneliness of it all, it only increased until one day, one of my sisters asked Amis what was going on. And whatever Amis had scared her so very much that she took me, and we tried to run away together. And we ran, and we got hungry, and eventually we came to a place, well, a place a bit like your place here, a place that had garlic at every corner. And we were hungry, and garlic, it didn't suit me very well. And I reacted. I think I might have died if I hadn't received help, which meant that my sister had to drag me back. And when I woke, Amis told me that she killed the other sister because she was going to be harmful to the interests of the Basarab, and that it was perfect timing because people would be gathering soon, and it was a good moment to prove your loyalty. And I didn't. I wanted my father to live. Well, that went badly for everyone. I could keep going. I don't mean for it to be so tragic. The point of sharing all this personal detail, I mean to look you in the eye and tell you exactly what pain it is to be a Basarab. It is not autonomy. It is not life. It is being born a revenant and being so aware that at any point when you become useful to the machinations of the Smitsi and of your family line and all of their ambitions, they will take you and they will ruin everything that you love and hold dear. Because it suits them. And if you do not do something, then Sherazhina will have to seek another way out.
And you are Basara?
Yes. If we leave this place, and I grant Sherazhina freedom. Freedom from that which being mortal traps her with, I would be the one to embrace her as Basarab. Now, tricks of the blood and all, perhaps the blood would manifest as pure Samitsi. I cannot tell whether those disciplines would linger or those weaknesses, but certainly the obligations would, the implications. And Sherazhina, you don't want that, do you?
And you think that afflicting her with the curse of the gangrel is some sort of escape?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever met a Tzimisce that wished to be a gangrel.
I am lucky. For my sire, I am grateful for what I've become. But Sherazhina here has the opportunity to fall into the embrace of someone who would give her autonomy fully. Someone who would free her from the life that she was born into. And you would deny her that. You would force her to be used as a tool of marriage, to carry children she does not want, for objectives she does not care about, to be fodder in the Basarab machine.
By her summation, what becomes of those who poach revenants from the Tzimisce?
What does become of those?
To put it lightly, the Tzimisce have a reputation for being territorial and cruel. And both of those to extremes, so extreme that they are referred to as dragons and fiends.
You would certainly be likely to catch the ire of her brother. I suppose if you wanted to redirect it, again, you could give me permission to embrace her.
And if the Tzimisce take issue with me giving her the freedom of the gangrel, I can call upon you. Yes?
Yes.
Catrinel notices Zorion staring daggers at her.
She tilts
But
her
he
head.
says nothing.
She tilts her head and looks at him. A sort of languid stare over the tilted head.
He looks troubled by the various potential consequences and what have you of making this choice. But finally, with a nod, he offers a hand towards Sherazhina, who has been quiet but kind of enjoying Catrinel's moves through all of this discourse pretty visibly. And he says, "This is your chance to refuse me."
Roland, who throughout this entire discussion has gone stock still and whose jaw is clenched tight enough to crack his own teeth, when he says specifically the phrase, "This is your chance to refuse me," walks outside.
Saeed has been staring dead-eyed ahead throughout the conversation and desperately minding her own business as she is swept up in Catrinel's story and the implications of what will happen to her world if there is an answer of yes or an answer of no. And she's almost relieved when Roland walks out, and she quietly gets up, and she does not use her staff to walk out, so she just sort of shuffles out and waits outside.
After Roland and Saeed head outside, Zorion will scoop up his silver goblet, lean back in his chair, and kind of look around the room to see other kind of reactions. What's Mika doing at all of this?
Mika is watching the exchange with a curious eye, but seems very careful to not indicate any approval or disapproval for the course of action being taken. Sherazhina, however, takes his hand.
Sherazhina, before you say your final yes, understand that if he does this, you are in as much danger as him and I. It would not be outside the character of this clan to punish you too. To try and take your life for this? Is it worth that to you?
If only death were the worst my brother could do to me. And she seems resolute.
Catrinel looks at Zorion, almost expecting him to put a stir in all this.
Micho will stand. I believe there are some conversations that Sherazhina and I should have. We will be excusing ourselves.
That Zorion stands and lifts a goblet. Your will, my prince. And finishes off the last bit of blood that he has been having tonight.
Thank you, Zorion.
One moment. And with that, Catrinel approaches Sherazhina. He takes hold of her face, and she leans in, and she places a chaste kiss on her lips. If this is the last time that I see you in this way, cousin. Now, Lex, I am attempting to use a merit that I have hinted at, and it's time to reveal. Sanctifying kiss. Now, this is the reason that generally in Catrinel's description she has had ruddy gloss, this tinge of red. It's not just makeup. On Catrinel's lips, there is always a blush of blood coating them. Whenever you kiss someone, you leave traces of sweet vitae behind. This secretion is not sufficient to create a ghoul or sire progeny, although you may surreptitiously administer the blood oath if you kiss on the mouth or touch your lips to an open cut. It requires a perception plus alertness roll, difficulty 8, to notice the slight taste of your blood. She is attempting to stealthily give Sherazhina just one level of a blood bond.
She's going to roll to notice the slight taste.
If you have a merit that makes your blood have a distinctive taste,
I do.
is that going to affect the difficulty?
I don't know.
Your vitae tastes like the finest wine, sweet and heady without the slightest trace of salt or metallic tang. As such, you may hide your blood in a chalice or feed ghouls without betraying the true nature of their drought.
So yes.
Okay. That is sweet blood that Tim just read off.
Sounds hidden.
Your sweet blood keeps it hidden. She does not get the perception roll.
When Catrinel kisses Sherazhina, there is just the slight taste of wine. We do all have this habit of sitting and swirling our goblets.
She doesn't seem to notice anything amiss. And in the way that Michu does things, he unceremoniously just kind of walks out with her to have the conversation.
She goes and sits with the others.
Taking up a space somewhere nearby and behind Zorion, Alexios shows himself. Well, I think we're done here. I think we can go now.
Zorion stiffens for a moment, realizing that there's someone off to his left, and then kind of slowly turns his head just ever so slightly. I'm still getting used to the fact that you can do that, but there will come a day when this will be amazing. You arriving at my side to make declarations. You've been here this whole time.
Most of it.
What are your feelings on this interjection our fair Catrinel has made?
Sounds like the good kind of trouble.
I don't entirely disagree. It was a good act, but it is nothing but trouble.
Oh, it's likely to have terrible repercussions.
Awful repercussions.
But if no one had done it for me, then I wouldn't be here.
The weight you have put on that couple is extremely difficult.
Yes.
And it will be a weight around our necks as well.
Quite possibly.
And considering the fact that it will be us and Clan Tzimisce who will be having difficulties with one another because of this, it does nothing but to strengthen the Eastern Lords and the Tremere. Discord in our house is not something we easily can afford. But not doing things like this is against the tenets of our coterie. So I will accept it.
Proving our worth also will go a long way to keeping the Tzimisce, at least off of our combined backs.
That will be yet to be seen. I quite like all of the Tzimisce I have met so far, but I am sure that there are members of your clan that will disappoint.
Well, we're all fiends in our different ways. Look, I do appreciate you accepting this. Both of you.
I would check in on Roland. He seems to have difficulty seeing this.
Yes, I don't quite understand it, but perhaps something he would open up about on the road.
Speaking of, we should perhaps get things ready so that when Mitru returns, we can say our goodbye and be along.
Yes. Zorion and Alexios. I am glad. You've proven yourselves to be the people you claim to be in this coterie.
Thank you.
Alexios just kind of nods.
Perhaps we really will be able to help people.
That is yet to be seen. Zorion will push in his chair and will start moving towards the door.
The group of you travel east and to make your way to the domain of Mistress. There, after long days of nights traveling through muddied spring landscape, you are met by Tiberia, the canine that first spoke with the group of you. And there, having traveled far ahead of the group by way of his flight form, he seems rested and has already spent multiple nights in the domain waiting for your arrival. He then escorts you to the heart of the city, where the Prince Radu awaits. As the group of you make your way through streets, you find that the population is thriving. The city does extremely well in terms of commerce. You quickly get a sense that There are influences of the Eastern Lords present within this domain, but there is no overbearing claim to the territory. It's clear to you that Radu has some sort of understanding with them. Now, as the group of you make your way, Roland, you're saddled on your horse, and something peculiar catches your attention. Amidst the crowd, there is someone that watches you in particular, and they kind of move, keeping no more and no less than approximately 50 yards away. They're dressed in dark clothes, leathers, an old worn cloak. You can see the glint of stiletto knives. And there comes a point where, tall in the saddle, you see their face. And it pains you. I need a perception plus alertness from the group.
Does my spec in Uncanny Instinct apply?
Yes.
Perception alertness, I have 2 dice. 2 successes.
1 success.
4 successes.
2 successes.
3 successes.
Roland, you know those hazel eyes anywhere. And realize, or for a moment trick yourself into thinking that perhaps she's some sort of ghost. Because you know she's gone. You watched it. And not a night has gone by or you have not vividly remembered it. But her eyes, her olive skin, the curve of her lips, it's all too exact. And before you realize it, your horse is nervously bucking underneath you. For the rest of the group, one of you has obtained the necessary number of successes on the alertness roll. And so, Alexios, moving along the flank of your entourage, you see figures slept in, dressed in the clothing of commoners, but covering chain shirts. They pull axes, knives, and wooden stakes and move in on Roland for what is to be a daring ambush in the middle of Radu Bistre's territory. You may take one action before combat begins.
Which way are they coming from? The opposite way that he's looking?
Roland's attention is distracted and he's looking in one direction, and from the other they are moving in to attempt to take down him and his horse.
Moving towards Roland and his horse, I go, Roland, look out!
Roland, as though 1,000 miles away, you hear the extremely distant voice of Alexios calling for you to look out. And you shift from this stupor long enough to see the axe coming your way. This is for Jocelyn! I'll allow you to roll for dodge. And then I need a frenzy check.
My dodge?
This is awesome.
Important question. Am I wearing mail right now, or am I just in my riding clothes?
You are dressed appropriately for escorting your charge
Gotcha.
through dangerous woods and into a city.
Okay. So I am at dice penalties, but wearing armor.
Correct.
Ooh, 2 1s cancel out my successes. I got no successes on a dodge.
They have 7 successes to hit you. As a highly trained vampire hunter makes their move.
I am now rolling soak, correct? Oh, that'll make up for it. Does my stalwart spec apply?
Yes.
I can't remember if this came up before. I soak damage on a 5 instead of a 6. I have 11 successes to soak. I rolled a fistful of 10s.
Nice.
What's all the dice rolling over there?
I don't know. I'm scared.
All the vampire hunters.
There's like a fucking pack of dudes.
And they're gonna try and take
By the way,
down.
I have hunted on
They're
my
gonna
sheet.
try and take down Vion too.
The axe clangs against your armor, almost fucking uselessly. But the stilettos dig deep into Viontu, and the horse makes an angry grunt as the clash of this force begins. But Roland, you still see her, and you see the contempt this woman has for you, and are for just the briefest moment only distracted by the subtle spritz of blood across your face, as they don't just attack you for your misdeed, for your crimes, they hurt Viontu. I need you to make a frenzy check.
I have an
You're at
important
+1 difficulty.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Viontu is a beast of war. He is also a loved one.
Yes, he is.
Roland thinks that his Focus Fury trigger is that he's being humiliated. That is not what it is. It is when his loved ones are harmed. Does that count?
This counts. Because this isn't just some fight on the battlefield. This isn't like a noble thing. People went out of their way to visit cruelty onto your horse for something it did not do.
Then the tricks his sire taught him fail, and I do not get a check. I frenzy automatically.
Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. Alexios is played by Tim Davis. Catrinel is played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Roland Roncevaux is played by Rob Muirhead. Sadhbh is played by Erika Webb. Zorion de Iruña is played by Garrett Gabbey. Your storyteller is Lex Lopez. The music used in this episode was Don't Look Back by DaniHaDani and Maya Belsitzman. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by White Wolf and Paradox Interactive. Be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you find your podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show at ko-fi.com/pathofnight. Look for us on social media at Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, K-Knights.
And we'll pause it there.
Oh, this is gonna be bad. I love it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna get bad, kids.
Thank you, Rob.
Oh boy. You're gonna commit mass murder outside of Beastries.
Yes, I am. It's gonna get real bad.
I gotta Ob-10 hold you down.
I'm glad I just
Tentacles.
spot up my potence.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that.
Could you buy it for slowness? That'd be great.
No. And
Vulnerability.
unfortunately, I told Lex a while ago, I was like, hey man, I feel like frenzy for real, like, should be a big deal, so, like, here's my blood expenditure actions for any time I frenzy.
Oh, you have a flow chart?
I have, like, a flow chart of what happens if I frenzy.
Sorry for clapping.
Thank you.
Clapping.
I'm gonna bite you next time.
LOL, clap, clap.
It's gonna be kind of bad. All right,
Players,
I have to run,
All right.
guys.
There you go.
I'm gonna leave this recording as we're freaking out for a second, but I'm gonna take that off.
Keep going. I just got really
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
I'm just gonna let the machine go as we're running, as we're talking, so we can keep the excitement going. I'm just letting you guys know that's still running because often this is the cue of unplug.